Welcome to the Big Biz Show. Taking care of business. You want fast-talking, hard-hitting discussions on business and finance? Maybe with a barroom slant and some really salty peanuts? We're not counting calories. We're counting cash. Before we get to the man with the financial plan, meet the money team. Costa, Mary, now Captain Finance himself, Sully.
Wherever you're watching, wherever you're listening, we welcome you to the Big Biz Show. We are live inside the Loft 100 studios, and as we like to say around these here parts,
a big old howdy to ya.
See, it sings. And when you have professionals like the Day Trader Trio, three of the best musicians I've ever heard, or got to know, ever listened to, it's perfect.
Hey, do you say that out in real life?
Every single day.
To other people out there?
Yeah, like I'll walk into Subway and before I order my sandwich, hey, how you doing? A big old howdy to you. And they look like, get the hell out of here before I call the police, you weirdo. No, I do not. I only say it. I keep it right here.
Okay, keep it to us. Thank you.
How are you with salutations though normally? Do you, like, I am finding out as more of the phone generation, we call them Gen Zers, I guess, or, do this, that looking people in the eye and talking with them makes them so uncomfortable.
It's interesting. When I go on walks, I really like to say hi to the people when I pass by them, but I do kind of wait until it's that weird awkward phase of like, are they going to look?
How far do you wait? How far do you wait before you say hi?
I get fairly close.
Okay.
And then I'm like, good morning or whatever.
I always give it about 5 feet of buffer.
Okay.
And then hey, how you doing?
Yeah,
because if you say it too soon and they don't hear you, then you're like,
or like there's no more conversation. You got to be like right as you pass because then you don't want this lag time of, they're still in front of me. Do I still talk? James East is probably, all three of these guys are nicest people you're ever going to meet on earth. James, I'm going to pick on you. Are you normally a, hey, how you doing? How's it going? What's happening on? For sure life? You are.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah, Brian, you're so quiet. You're an assassin in another life. Are you like, hey, how you doing? What's going on?
I am.
Are you?
Yep. How you doing?
Yeah. You're such a liar. Trace. Trace, what about you, brother?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I wave or I'll say, hey, how you doing?
Yeah, but it's I don't know, maybe it's just because people look at me and like, whoa, red flag. But a lot of the times they're just like, It seems like when you pull up in your van with the tinted windows, it's so weird. And I've got ice cream spray painted on the side of it. It's a little awkward, Mike, okay? No, to me, it's just, it's crazy. One thing that I really have taught my kids when they were little is to look people in the eye, especially when they're ordering food at a restaurant. And I really kicked my kids under the table when they were little. And now they do it really well. They're older, but because I notice a lot of the younger generation don't do that. They don't tend to look you in the eye when they're talking to you. Right. Because they're awkward because they are here all the time. Yeah, or when you introduce yourselves to somebody. And again, it's a handshake or a hello, how are you? And you look them in the eye. And within 10 seconds with a lot of people, you can just start seeing, go like, when can I break the gaze with people? Right. I am fairly addicted to my phone though. I have it in my hand all the time. And I think we all do. I'm either pocket or I check it really frequently. Okay. And my daughters call me out on it. I think I'm worse than they are. Yeah. Yeah. The only time I really want to make sure that I have my phone in my hand is when I'm going into a grocery store. And it's either Girl Scouts selling cookies, or somebody has a little stand there, or it's somebody getting you to sign a petition. Oh, yeah. And I'll just pick up the phone and I'll go, oh my God, yeah. No, I'm walking the store right now. Glad you caught me. What do you need me to get? So that you don't have to. So you don't have to, and I will do the same thing as I'm walking out. Swear to God. Smart, I like it. Is that bad? No, that's good. Like anytime the Day Trader Trio wants to talk to me, I'm like, yeah, hold on 1 second. Oh my God, honey, what's going on? All right, keep it right here. Lots more to come with the Big Biz Show. We're back after this.
We are in Southern California. We're inside the Loft 100 studios. Hope everyone's having a great day. Thank you for being with us. Day Trader Trio is always with us. Love those guys. And of course, back here at the bar, Costa, Merriman Godwin, and it is Sully. Great stuff. So how much, I know we've on and off talked over this last few days about television programs that we want to get into. Task for you. Mm-hmm. Discovered the little new movie Raiders of the Lost Ark finally. I heard it's awesome. But I really like, I went down a rabbit hole in a couple of the longer series just because, once I want to find, like Succession, I keep on bringing up Succession.
Yeah.
And of course Yellowstone, which I resisted. I really enjoyed the Yellowstone. And I did you ever watch that?
No.
It was so good.
I don't do.
Well, it wasn't. It's not what you think it was. It's not country. It's more about business than anything. It's King, by the way, it's King Lear, honestly, in Montana, if you want to think about it. But so was Succession. It was King Lear in New York. Yeah. And then this new one came out about 3 years ago or 2 years called The Bear. I just love that actor.
So good.
The kid.
He wasn't great in the Bruce Springsteen movie, though, I gotta say.
I am tired of seeing biopics about rock stars. I wasn't at first. Like I loved, in fact, like at first, I loved seeing the Batman movie and the Joker movie and until Ryan Reynolds came out with Green Lantern, then I stopped watching those movies. Yeah. And then I liked watching the Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yep.
Loved that. Loved the Elton John thing.
Yep. This one, it's slow.
It's just.
I took 2 naps.
So do you know what I'm waiting for? I rewatched Gandhi the other day. Such a great movie. I rewatched Out of Africa this year. I rewatched The Patriot, Gladiator. Yep. Those, and even Lawrence of Arabia. Whoa. That had an intermission and an overture in it.
Blockbuster.
Kingdom of Heaven, intermission, overture, or vice versa. Yeah. I want to see those type of movies again. Although I can't tell you, I'm not excited to go see Now You See Now You Don't. The Magicians. You ever see that?
Oh, I just saw the ad for it.
You got to see that one battle after another. Paul Thomas.
Well, my point is that I am still not on television. I'm on Amazon Prime, or I'm on, or I should say Prime Video, or Netflix, or Apple TV Plus, or Apple, or on Hulu. I discovered is a cool, cheap, freaking way to watch every old movie you ever wanted. Sure. Including, now Robert Redford unfortunately passed. I mean, every one of his cool movies is out there, Butch Cassidy, for free once you do that. Yeah. But the long story short is that cable companies are now cannot be making money on packages. No. They got to be making money on internet services. You're talking about Howie Font, our lead analyst here, of course, from New York City, because Warner Brothers Discovery, WBD, so Warner Bros. Discovery Network, has quietly put itself up for sale after rejecting a $20 per share offer. I don't know what that turns into market cap, Howie, but it's interesting because this ever-changing world of cable is going to be internet service providers versus cable companies, correct?
Yeah, it's really interesting because you had so much money. Warren Buffett used to say, you could put your dumb nephew in charge of a local television station and still print money. You'd do fine.
Well, they used to say the same thing about newspapers, right? Yeah. I mean, the newspaper publishers say the same thing. Mary, this affects you because HBO Max is part of Discovery Warner Bros. Uh-oh. Okay.
I'm listening.
Well, HBO Max has Task on it.
I know. I'm listening. I watch HBO Max.
So you had these companies that were, these cash cows. They had to own the building and they did the cable stuff and you paid them. They were cash cows for the longest time. But now you have this transition to streaming. So you've got the company that owns the IP and the company that owns the infrastructure. And Warner Brothers Discovery is saying, how about we go our separate ways with these two models?
Yeah. What was that offer worth at $20 per share? Do we have it? Was it $35 billion or something like that?
I don't have it off the top of my head, but CNBC reported that the board wants $27 a share. So they're off by.
Do these companies have, what do the balance sheets look like in these companies? Are these, because in my mind, if you're looking to buy something, you want to see if they have something valuable that they're selling or offering, but you also want to see who's in the lunchroom, who's in the management, but then you also have to see what's on the books. How much debt are they in? How much money do they owe? Are these companies indebted? And what are they indebted to if they are?
They have huge amounts of debt. I mean, all of the infrastructure that they pay for with the traditional TV business, the cable lines and all that, cost billions and billions, and old people buy their debt and live off the interest.
What he's talking about is bonds.
Pensioners
What
kind of thing.
He's talking about pensions and bonds.
Yeah.
And he's talking about retirement accounts because they're safe. They're safe investments to buy
exactly.
bonds. Right.
I mean, well, what's the safest thing to do? You buy AT&T, or you were an AT&T employee and you just let the stock go up forever and ever and ever, and that was.
And if what Howie said doesn't make you feel bad.
Thing people did.
If what Howie said doesn't make you feel bad enough, he considers old people starting at age 37.
How dare you?
Hey, so what's interesting to me, and I think the tongue-in-cheek thing here, as you're looking at it, is that you've got amazing amount of debt because of infrastructure on businesses that really shouldn't have that much infrastructure now, had they known then what they know now, in so much
go
that
across the Wi-Fi.
All you need to do is a magic Wi-Fi box and create content that people will typically do for free in exchange for exposure. Mm-hmm. And I think the new paradigm for the next group of what are called fast channels, and fast channels is now called over the top. OTT is now called fast channel. OTT means over the top of cable, over the top of satellite. It's basically what you're seeing on online vision. When you see fast channels pop up, you're going to see, let's say, a Jackie Chan channel. It's going to be all action, all Jackie Chan type stuff, and that's going to be, in and of itself, all you need is the distribution rights to that programming, and a way to get the word out. Go watch over here. No infrastructure, no debt, right?
Where are you going to see it, though?
But the problem for me is...
on your computer.
Actually, on TV. Well, listen, what you see on your computer, the computer is the same screen as a television screen. Okay.
But so am I going to get the Jackie Channel app? Or is it going to be seen on Hulu? Or
Did you just call it the Jackie Channel?
You have Mary,
Jackie Channel.
Do you know what Hulu is? Hulu is basically an ETF of fast channels. It's a basket of fast channels. Okay.
I've got some news for you there, Sully.
Yeah.
Earlier this year, Disney and a couple other companies, I forget, used to own Hulu. They had pieces of Hulu. Right. Disney finished acquiring the rest of it this year, and they said that, actually, I think last week, that they were shutting it down as its own independent service. There'll be some Hulu features and Hulu shows.
So that's going to be part of the juggernaut, right? So that's my point, though. You create a fast channel, let's just say a big biz fast channel that has all business with a barroom slant type programming in it, and you get enough people eyeballs on it, downloading your app, okay? Mm-hmm. User acquisition costs come down below $1 per person who's downloading your app, you're going to get acquired. I mean, it creates a new frontier of business, is it not, for broadcasting?
Well, what I'm worried about is this thing that Mary just said. What login do you use? I mean, yeah, I agree with you that Disney or Warner Brothers Discovery or Paramount Plus, et cetera, I mean, AMC Plus, hilarious that they have their own. I mean, you're going to have 7 different logins and pay basically what your old cable
listen,
is. But you've cut the cable company out, you've gone directly to IP owners. Yeah.
Wait, listen, hold on, it's already happening. There are businesses here that'll go in and scour your subscriptions, because I've got 7 Netflix subscriptions, and I've got 16. It's the same thing that's been going on forever.
Yeah, I don't want that. I don't like that. Well, so I think what you're saying with this consolidation is you're going to have a couple big players. Disney's going to be one option, Netflix is going to be one option, and we'll see who shakes out for the major third one.
There is a turnaround story here, too, whereby they're not doing as good as you think they are in terms of revenue and what their expenses are, because
not at all.
There's going to be a consolidation that comes in even further here. And I think you heard of the big 3 back in network broadcasting days. I think there's going to be a big 2 or 3. Right now, obviously, Apple, the juggernaut, and then you've got some of the Netflix and
Apple, Netflix,
Prime.
and Hulu.
Prime.
Then there's Prime.
Yeah, Hulu's. So I think you're going to see consolidation because there's a turnaround coming. Is there not, Howie?
Yeah, but do you keep Paramount Plus? How do you buy HBO? Do you buy HBO Max?
Well,
do I have to own 5 of these to watch?
No, that's what I'm saying. I don't think you're going to. I think if you subscribe to Apple TV right now, if you go to Apple TV, you can not only buy movies, you can buy television, and it'll take you to the companies that they own, to where, okay, I want to watch Welcome Back, Kotter. Well, if they own the licensing for it, it'll take you right to that station.
Wait until the major sports leagues become.
Yeah.
Oh, you're a Laker fan? Okay, well, you have to buy...
not leagues, teams.
Teams. You've got to buy the Laker channel.
The Yankees, the Yes Network.
Yankees are doing it right now with the Yes Network, 100%. NFL Sunday Ticket is going to be obsolete.
Because if you wanted, I remember when Disney Channel first came on. I was fascinated by it because it was all things Disney, including how Disneyland was built.
Right.
How the Disney Studios and the animation was done.
Yeah.
I listen, if I'm a Yankee fan, and I want to go back and see how Yankee Stadium was originally built. If I want to see, if I'm a Dodger fan, I want to see dem bombs, right?
Historical
games and such. I mean, I would buy a Dodger channel or a New York Yankee channel or a Padre channel
in a heartbeat.
And if it had 24/7 and it wasn't just looped. It's got to have content. So does it come back down to the age-old saying when this whole interweb thing came out, that content is king?
Yeah.
100%.
It comes down to that, isn't it? Howard, thank you, brother. I appreciate it.
Howie Font, market analyst on the Big Biz Show. Always informative. Love that guy. All right, love this. Much more to come with the Big Biz Show right after this. Watching, wherever you're listening, we welcome you to another edition of the Big Biz Show. We're live inside the Loft 100 studios. Hope everyone's having a great day. We certainly are. Thank you for being along for the ride. Here at the bar, it's Costa Me, this beautiful face, Mary Bert Godwin.
I thought you were going the other direction.
And of course, Sully.
Good to see you guys. You've given the band the week off to do the Challenge Athletes Foundation.
What a Homeric task.
So CAF is an organization that we've been supporting for many years. Where, if you know someone who has a physical challenge, you'll know that physical activity is difficult, and finding equipment to. Have you seen those running legs, those blades?
Totally.
Those are like $30,000 a piece.
Yeah.
Those recumbent bicycles, where they're pedaling with their arms. Adaptive surfing. All those things cost so much money, and Challenge Athletes Foundation raises money for them. So every year they do a bicycle ride from San Francisco to San Diego on their bicycles, 700 miles in 7 days. I did it 13 times. I'm paying not to ride now.
You've checked your box?
Because Sully Entertainment Group and Loft 100 Studios sponsors, not only with a donation, we also put our whole team out there.
Crew.
And so the entire crew is up there, but I told the band, let's go. Do you think the band is up there?
Oh.
The band is not even doing anything near that. The band is taking the day off. So there you go.
There's cardboard cutouts of the Day Trader Trio.
As we continue, let's talk to Nick Liuzza. I had a chance to talk to Nick Liuzza off the air today. And so much insane things are happening. But
he is the Chief Executive Officer of Beeline Holdings Incorporated. Of course, their ticker symbol is BLNE. And
I say Liuzza because I know somebody named Ronnie Liuzza. You know Ronnie,
the old reporter,
our old traffic girl.
Yes,
he's Nick Liuzza.
Oh, okay.
But it's an honest mistake.
But he's a cool guy. He'll roll with it. Nick joins us once again here on the Big Biz Show. Nick, how are you, my friend?
Hey, man, love the energy on the show. I wish I was bike riding 13 miles today. That sounds
no kidding. It's funny because you and I were talking about the future of AI and mortgage. Before we get to that, I want to definitely get to that today. But for the people, the people who don't know who Beeline Holdings is, talk about what you guys are a fintech mortgage lender. And a SaaS platform. And you built your platform for millennials and Gen Z, which we'll also talk about just a little bit. But talk about really how you guys are changing the face of mortgages and such, because this is a pretty big deal.
Yeah, look, there's 75 million millennials out there, and they're making a huge impact in the market. They already represent 40%. And, we're building tech, we're building a brand to address their unique needs, because those guys grew up with these phones in their pockets when they're 6 or 7 years old. And the mortgage industry is anything but that. So how are we different? Well, our platform is, 6-7 minutes to get certainty around a mortgage application. It's built for millennials. But the most important piece on why we're different than the larger lenders is that we can't qualify you for a conventional mortgage, which is a Freddie Fannie mortgage. Then we'll shift you to a non-qualified mortgage, which in some cases for the gig economy are easier to get approved for. And if you're with one of the other larger lenders, it's game over if you can't qualify for a conventional mortgage.
Well, Nick, we hear millennials day in and day out. I can't afford to live in the city that I'm working. I'm still having to live with my parents. I'm still paying off student loans. I'm paying off this. So you come along and you've got to be this, you're the unicorn they've been looking for forever. Say, hey, I can finally try to buy my first house.
Yeah, go to our website. There's a couple of testimonials where you literally will see a woman crying because she gets her first home she's been trying to get for 4 or 5 years, I think she said, and she couldn't really find it. That she couldn't get approved until she found Beeline.
Wow.
We're not the only one offering these type of mortgages, but we're reaching a wider audience through our distribution, through our marketing, and the fact that we're putting up a flag saying, "Hey, Mr. Millennial, we got something for you if the other lenders are denying you."
Nick, can you tell us a little bit about this unique fractional equity product that you're launching?
Yeah, just like we're addressing the millennials, 75 million millennials, you're also seeing that baby boomers are growing and living longer. Look, Mick Jagger's 82 years old. How in the hell is how is Keith Richards still alive, right? How the hell is that guy still alive?
Keith Richards was dead.
He's not. He's alive and kicking. He's alive and kicking, right? And so it just goes to show you that if those guys can stay alive, people that are running out of their retirement income and they want to stay in their homes. So what options do they have? You can do a reverse mortgage, but that's punitive, and you lose in most cases, many cases, you lose your home when you pass away, and you can't pass it on to your heirs. In many cases, you can't get a cash out refi because you don't have a job. And Freddie Fannie requires you in most cases to have a job in order to qualify. Not all, but in most cases. We come along with a fractional sale of equity, combining the blockchain along with the real estate chain, and allow consumers to sell a portion of their home to create liquidity for themselves in order to, receive a lump sum of cash. The beauty of it is that it's a pure equity transaction. There's no monthly payments, there's no interest, and it's not due until you either sell the home or the home transfers property. And so we're closing 5 of those transactions this week. We'll close another 5 next week, another 20 in November, another 30 in December. Jeez. And this is all part of our test pilot. Next year, we'll be live with this product to the world, and we'll start taking indications of interest or allowing people to go through our point of sale next week to kind of queue themselves up for next year. So we're really excited about this product.
The thing that you talked about the very first day, and something I want to talk about again is look at, since you guys are looking at other demographics now, and I mean which the addressable market obviously for something like this is exponentially bigger because of AI. Because let's face it, you've got AI based appraisals now too. I mean, look at the average mortgage loan takes about 14 days to 60 days. It's somewhere in there depending on your credit and depending on the situation.
Look, we're in the 14-day category. There are many lenders that take 60 days, and we're getting ready to get into a favorable rate environment. What that means is that the entire mortgage process is going to slow down.
Can you imagine having lower interest rates, the slog of refinances, but now if you guys come in with an AI opportunity that closes loans in, this is me saying this because Mike and I have been in radio and television for a long time, and the reason I say that is because remember how many times you and I had to talk about mortgage endorsements? In a commercial break.
Yep.
Me and Mike, here I'm talking about ABC Mortgage, and we'd say things like, if it's not in the twos, come refinance with Kevin Lyons or so on and so forth, and they would get it done. We can get it done in 21 days. That's going to be a lifetime coming up, isn't it? Processing times are going to turn around with technology, the kind of technology you guys have, right?
Absolutely. It's already happening. Now, some of the legacy lenders that are a little slower to adopt and that aren't building proprietary tech stacks like we are, they are going to be reliant on whatever software they're licensed in, and they won't be able to be as productive as a company like Beeline, who's building its own tech. And, when you build your own tech, it's the last 10% that matters, right? You can't get the last 10% when you license software. So absolutely, man. I mean, in the world we're getting ready to get into, he who closes fastest will get more market share. That's a fact.
Last of all, so we're in fourth quarter, believe it or not. And now I know and from talking to you, you're already planning for first and second quarter of next year. What are you looking most forward to here for the next 6 months with you guys?
We're looking forward to the fact that the market's going to normalize. And then when the market normalizes, there's more supply and demand for transactions. And so the fact that we can now come out with our AI and close loans faster in conjunction with a product that no other mortgage lender has that I know of in our fractional sale of equity product that's not tied to interest rates. I'm going to repeat that. It's not tied to interest rates. So we effectively are one of the only mortgage lenders, maybe the only, that has an equity product that has no bearing on where rates are, that's addressing a need. So now we're addressing the millennials, and we're addressing the baby boomers. So we're quite excited about the fact that, no, we're not a boutique lender, but we look a little boutique-ish because we're slicing up these demographics and meeting their needs with products that they need.
We got a surprise to come with Nick. We're gonna see a lot more of him. I'm making him come in the studio. I talked to him about it this morning. I'm making him come in and spend a day here with us, buddy. Thanks so much for stopping by.
I'm gonna bring you some jambalaya and some beignets from New Orleans. All right.
You got it, buddy. There you
Nick
go.
Liuzza, Chief Executive Officer of Beeline Holdings, Inc., their ticker symbol BLNE. Big things coming from him. All right, keep it right here. Much more to come with the Big Biz Show. Do not go anywhere. Big Biz Show continues. We're live from the Loft 100 studios here in sunny Southern California. Hope everyone's having a good day. We certainly are getting paid to goof off.
Your boss talking a little bit, buddy. Everybody.
He is Lavelle Malloy II, the CEO and co-founder of Bragg House. I love the name of the company. Their ticker symbol, TBH. Lavelle, thank you so much for making time for us. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. Thank you guys for having me.
The confluence of bridging culture and capital is really interesting to us. This show's been on the air for 30 some odd years. I hate to say on radio, it's embarrassing to say how old we were when we started the show. It's been on TV for the last 20. But I don't think I've never heard bridging culture and capital. Talk about what you guys do. I think it's really interesting.
Thank you. So I think the best way is to say what we started. For the past several years, my co-founder and I, several years, probably 2018, we've been singularly focused on building a platform that authentically connects brands with the Gen Z community. And, we proved that model. We developed something on the intersection of gaming, college sports, and social interaction. That did very well. We attracted some of the biggest partners like McDonald's, Coca-Cola, inked a pretty big partnership with Learfield, which is a $1 billion conglomerate in college sports. And we did all that through building community. And I think now it's only fitting that our next chapter, with what we feel is a proven playbook, is to take that culture that we built and really drive it into a financial ecosystem. And that's in connection with the merger that we're doing.
Let's talk about specifics in terms of House of Doge and this type of thing, and talk about client base and customer base and so on and so forth for us.
Yeah, no, great thing. So how it started, we had a conversation with them. I kind of like what they were doing. A lot of people are doing, crypto is obviously really important. And I think it's a currency that's going to be there for a while. But what I liked what they were doing is they had the vision of creating a financial juggernaut. And that is something that I thought not a lot of people approach the market that way. Backed by obviously the Doge Foundation, backed by a $40 billion cryptocurrency. But the essence of what we're building now is really just a financial engine, the likes of, with payment processing like Visa and MasterCard, the likes of brand licensing like, Formula One, and asset management and tokenization, which I'm happy to dive into more of those, but almost like a BlackRock. So doing that is kind of the verticals of the revenues that they want to put on. And obviously Bragg House having, a pretty important role in that. We've already took the most loyal audience there was and gave them that adoption. And now we're doing that same thing, but on a global level. So we will be able to kind of, shape that adoption of Dogecoin globally, more accepted through the models that I mentioned, and having college as the first entry point, to be honest.
I wanted to ask you, because of my generation, I have a little bit skepticism when it comes to Dogecoin and cryptocurrencies. So are you seeing that these younger generations, are you just skipping over our generation completely and you're focusing on them? Because I'm thinking their adoptability, their interest in this is, they don't question it as much as
Are you questioning it because of the lack of regulation, or just because the lack of understanding?
I don't understand it at all.
Listen,
it's so cerebral to me.
Well, it's a fair sort of concern, because if you really think about it, a lot of people can think in terms of Ethereum, Bitcoin, Dogecoin as purchasing vehicles, which they may be someday, but really right now, they're investment vehicles. And I think if you kind of separate the fact that we're using digital currency anyway, because you got the same $40 in your pocket you have for the last 6 months anyway, then unless you're tipping a valet, we're still in the digital currency era. But you're right to be skeptical about it, because I think it's hard to kind of put your finger on what it actually does.
I think but a great question, and I think the best way to answer it is kind of twofold. One, I actually want to address what you said earlier about, that it's really kind of the statement that was cryptocurrency, but people, it's not really being used. It may be used that way in the future, that people can purchase things. That, I think, is a really important message, because that's the goal.
Yeah.
The goal is to, a lot of people are bringing into leadership. Marco Magliata, he just sold his company to Pfizer, one of the most brilliant, minds in payment processing. Paycor was his company. Because of that, we're bringing in Pfizer to really work on, or that team of people to really work on the payment processing thing. So taking that, just small part right there, because there's a lot of part, but payments is very huge. And if you can do that like a Visa, like a MasterCard, one of the partnerships we just announced was in-kind. In-kind, in short, gives access to over 5,000 restaurants, to think about like a DoorDash or something like that. And you can they said, yes, we want to be the first to, or not the first, but we want to be able to use purchasing everything in our ecosystem.
What's interesting about that is, and look, Mary, I'm with you too. I'm completely on the same page.
And I'm going to get back to you, because I have a direct question.
Well, but to your point here, it's really surprising to me that we're having such a hard time with it, because we're already doing it. I mean, we don't use cash.
Right.
And our currency is a fiat currency anyway. It's not backed by anything. It's backed by perception, as is all currency, with the exception of a very few currencies in this world. It's not backed by a gold standard or any other valuable standard. So it's sort of, to your point, you're talking about that, and to not to interrupt you finishing Mary's question, but man, I just don't understand why we're having such a hard time adopting this, because we already have adopted the fact that this paper in our wallet is worth something, based upon nothing other than the perceived notion that it is worth something, if you can wrap your head around that. So if you think it's worth it, it's worth it. So we just have to start thinking that Bitcoin, Ethereum, Dogecoin is worth it, and then we start spending it, right?
Well, also the other thing when you said, Mary, when you said about Venmo, Venmo and all these things, just think when that first came in, there was a lot of skepticism over Venmo, and then people I can just send this to you and everything is safe, and it's also a social tool.
Yeah.
That made no sense to people when they first did it, but now, probably most people can't imagine life without Venmo, of just saying, here, I'm going to do this now. But the direct answer that I wanted to get to, I think that background, and I agree 100% with that point, this is going to be something that people are going to be using often. But directly to your point, and I think there means two separate delineations. You are absolutely correct in that Gen Z is more adoptive into certain things. What I will argue is that even with that, and I'm sure everyone could attest to this, they are the hardest demographic to reach, which is why we've been so successful in our platform, because in essence, we designed something just for them to engage in. And then based on that, we're able to create ROIs and, having other brands and companies reach them. So that will be the first entry point, because we already have that community. But what I think that I like about this opportunity, is I'm going to continue in leadership, and also going to now have even more full autonomy with the vertical of just the college, is that we're now leading this adoption globally.
Yeah.
So it's everybody. It's not just the colleges. Colleges now become one vertical.
Yeah.
Leading this to everyone, and I think it's going to be really successful. And that was one of the things that I really liked about this merger.
Well, like 8 years ago, remember Dan Negroni said 75% of your employees are going to be millennial, and 75% of your customers are going to be millennial.
Right.
And now it comes down to 75% of your customers are going to be Gen X, Gen Y, Gen Z in the next 3 years. And as well, customers and employees. It's interesting. We need to have you back.
Please.
And before I let you out of here today, let's talk real quickly in terms of, you guys raised capital recently. Did I see that? Did I see you guys or are you in the process of raising?
We raised $15 million.
$15 million. And what were the use of proceeds on that? Where did you guys? Is that just for operations? Is that still coming in? Is that in the bank? Talk about the health. Talk about the health of your company.
In the bank, I think generally it's for operations. While we were excited about this merger, obviously as a public company, our fiduciary duty is to continue with the best value to the shareholders. So that money, that raise, was very, very important to us because it pretty much fully funded all of the go-to-market, everything we needed in the college level, expansion of technology, all the things we needed there. So there wasn't a specific use of funds other than, operations and scalability and growth. But now that we have that, and we're going to have, what we believe are, we've already seen them come in, but some very, very, robust revenue models immediately coming into TBH for shareholders, and then obviously directly flowing into what we're building out in the college level.
Hey, before you get out of here, where are you from? Where are you guys located?
So we're located, our main office is in New York. I moved upstate just briefly because just had a baby daughter.
Congratulations. Well, we got to get you to San Diego. I want you in studio, man. I got to have you.
I want to be there. You guys have too much fun out there, please.
Lavelle Malloy II, CEO, co-founder, Bragg House. Ticker symbol is TBH. Definitely want to spend more time with him here on the Big Biz Show. Speaking of the Big Biz Show, keep it here. Much more to come right after this.
It's that other type of love we have. The type of love so good it's bad.
We continue on the Big Biz Show, wherever you're watching and wherever you're listening. We always appreciate you being along for this crazy ride here inside the Loft 100 Studios.
Is it crazy?
In Southern California, a little cray-cray. Costa Mary Godwin, and of course, Sully.
One of my favorite people in the world, Allan Evans, CEO of Unusual Machines, stock symbol UMAC, and I love the sticker on, or the sign on the front door. We make drone parts. I'm pretty sure it's as simple as that. And I mean, why make it complicated? But it's a brilliant model, and of course, it's the only pure play U.S. drone component manufacturer in the country. But we got to talk about shutdown. We got to talk about the government shutdown. The minute I see this stuff, when we first started talking to you about 6-7 months ago, we talked about tariffs and how that was going to affect you. I think there's some of these things that you think are going to hurt you. You end up being a big beneficiary of some of these things. How does this government shutdown, if at all, affect a public company like yours?
Oh, it affects all these types of companies differently. What it really does is, for the drone companies, all the money in the big, beautiful bill, multi-year money for drones, nobody can write the check. So you're like, oh, okay, great, no POs. But it doesn't change when they're going to want drones. So, we're well capitalized. So we just are still investing money in the supply chain. I think we have like 20 new people starting to build drone motors in a week or two, right? We just keep going forward. So what it does for a company like ours is it adds some uncertainty, makes it real kind of wobbly out there. But because we're in a position to have the money and not wait on the PO, we get to get further ahead, right? If you're a small company and you need the order, you got to wait.
So, Allan, wait. The government is saying, listen, we can't send you the money, but that December due date, December 1, we expect Unusual Machines to deliver for us, right? Is that what I'm getting?
A little bit. So if you're in the military and you know you need drones, they kind of want them as fast as possible.
Yeah.
So our customers, which are the drone companies, are like, man, we still need drone parts. We better build these drones, because if any company doesn't build drones, they're just going to lose. People will go buy the ones off the shelf. So it takes every company that has the cash to just start to build and go do it anyway.
Okay.
Right? All those companies are advantaged. So I'm sitting here just watching the big public companies with huge war chests get beat up, and you're like,
yeah.
Okay.
Right. So when you guys go to plan for let's say Q1, I mean, look, we're in Q4 now. You're already probably planning on Q3 for next year at this point, the way you guys plan things. Is this kind of hitch in the giddy up that happens? It happens every year anyway. Is this something you guys government or outside forces? Because look, if you don't think we're in a global economy, look no further than what happens when we get a bad news story, how it affects the stock market, right? And look at how this government shutdown is affecting foreign markets. Do you plan for stuff like this for next year?
Yes and no. Like when we feel like we're at a good valuation, we put a bunch of cash in the bank.
Yeah.
Right. And so we've done that. Otherwise, right now, at least, we're not in a mature market, right? It's not stable. So it's kind of go as fast as we can grow for the next year. So for us, the external market dynamics, they're really noisy and really uncertain, but if we build 100,000 motors or 200,000 motors, we're going to sell all the motors. We're building into a void still. So I think our need to pay attention to it and really do forecasting and steady state planning, it's not really going to be a problem for a company like ours or anybody in the drone segment really for another couple of years till we get to kind of that steady state of a mature industry.
Al, as far as the space you are in, are there a bunch of you, or is it a pretty concentrated neighborhood?
So there are a bunch of drone companies, and they're all doing really cool stuff, trying to come out. There are not a bunch of boring value parts companies.
But that's good news,
right?
Though.
It's
no
great
doubt.
news for us, but it's like really hard. I mean, imagine you're building Tesla and somebody's building Rivian, and that's like all the drone companies.
Right.
We're Goodyear. Right? Like it's tough to get people fired up about that, to be like, look at that sweet car. Don't you love those tires?
Hey, I got a question. We haven't talked about this in a while. Is T-Motors still banned?
Yeah, they're still on the sanction list.
And has was there any, they had 70% of the global drone motor market. Has that affected you guys in a positive way or negative way, or is it been a non?
Oh, yeah. No, we're scaling as fast as we can. We have a ton of people asking for it for what we have. And the other thing is the Chinese companies, T-Motor being one of them, did this really good job making exactly what you want. We don't do that. We make 3 different motors. And early on, people are like, yeah, but tell us when you make this other part. And now they're like, can we sample one of the 3 you make? We think we could make it work. So the ban is sort of allowing us, is driving a lot of interest in people adopting to what we have because, we're the only ones really scaling with anything right now. So that's been a real positive. And it's super cool to walk around Orlando where we've gone from 20 employees to 40 employees to keep adding employees and realize we're building jobs and we're bringing jobs back out of China. So that part's cool too.
Well, look at you guys have a pristine cap table. You got a low cash burn rate. You got a couple years worth of cash in the bank. But what's really interesting here is I can't let you out without talking about the military contracts you guys talked about this month. Come on. If you think in terms of you had a $12.8 million defense order from Strategic Logic in September.
So that's the thing is we built an entire team. They even got purple hats. I didn't have to ask, right? So our salespeople are awesome. They're doing their job, right? I just got to sit here and look pretty now. And so in that way, it's really going well. We're seeing a huge demand. We even recently got parts orders from the 101st, so one of the Army divisions, because they're interested in trying to build some drones inside the Army to understand them better. So yeah, we're getting orders from a bunch of different groups. I think 4 or 5 very significant customers. Red Cat with their Fang drone. We announced, I think, a near $1 million order there, another 1.6 from an undisclosed customer. So we are really starting to show that diversity of the customer base, which you want as a parts vendor. And I think you're starting to see the market for drones in general really materialize, it's all just pretty exciting.
Okay, speaking of diversity, Allan, I was at my daughter's high school on Friday night. She was dancing in the halftime show, and all of a sudden in the sky, there was this light show, and it was drones. And it was a drone light show. And I felt so old because I'm like, how do they do that?
You thought it was Martians?
Well, I was just...
She thought it was 80 separate little pilots all doing it together.
And I literally was like, no, seriously, how are they doing this? And this is the thing. And speaking of drones are going to be taking over the world. They're doing everything now. We don't need fireworks anymore. We got drones to do this. Are you just seeing the ways in which creativity with drones is coming out? It's not just military usage. Now
the evolution.
High school football games.
Oh yeah, no, we do. And my problem is I was hanging out with my parents in a balloon fest or something on a weekend, and there was the drone light show. My mom had never seen one. She got excited, and I started counting all the dots, and I'm like, oh, that's a lot of parts.
Yes.
You know, like that's my problem is I'm sitting there and you're like 100 drones. Oh yeah, great. And light shows are awesome. Delivery's going to come pretty soon. You know, I'm still super excited for that burrito catch.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the burrito catch. Yes, I'm waiting for that.
Buddy, I appreciate it. I can't wait to see you back on the West Coast here at some point, pal. But his name's Allan Evans.
Allan Evans, CEO, Unusual Machines. The ticker symbol is UMAC. Oh my God.